Are you in a content rut right now? I've been there and it is not fun. So whether you've lost your spark for content creation and you're just not feeling it right now, or you're burnt out from maybe overproducing content and you got nothing left in the tank to give, or maybe you just don't seem to be resonating with your audience right now, I got you covered, because today I'm gonna be sharing my 5 secret toolkit of tried and true ways to get your content mojo back and jump back in the game like you never even left. All right, familia, we got no time to lose. We're gonna get right into it today. The first point, the first tool in my toolkit is to feed your soul on purpose. Get inspired on purpose. And I think most of the time when we're in a content rut, it's because we're trying to serve other people. We're trying to educate, inspire, motivate other people when we are running on empty ourselves. Has that happened to you? Because that's definitely happened to me a lot, especially in this season in my business where we're running the Business Launch membership and a group coaching program in TBL plus one-on-one coaching with our TBL coaching clients, our other courses, a team, multiple newsletters, 2 podcasts, this YouTube channel, the blog. There's so much output in terms of content creation for me in this season that I tend to get stuck in a rut pretty frequently, maybe more frequently than I ever have. And it's kind of crazy to me, but I recently started understanding, oh my gosh, of course I'm in a rut. Of course things are not resonating. Of course, and by the way, this comes and goes. Like one week I might be like killing it, and then the next week I'm like, what is going on with me? Like, I have no ideas. I have no inspiration. I maybe don't even want to create content. And so it's one of those things where even though it's my full-time job and I've been in this game for like over a decade now, it's challenging. And so having this tool is so helpful to be like, wait, hold up. Am I actually intentionally feeding my soul? Am I actually coming to our audience, our community, our clients, our group coaching people, right? Our customers in a way that is serving them? Am I filling myself up? Am I fully full, right? Am I serving out of a place of just having my own cup full? And so this is actually something that I have brought into my faith. And I think I was, even like when I was writing this, I was a little shocked that I put this on paper, but it's true. Partnering with Jesus in this season of my business, our business really now, is really essential. And I wish I would have leveraged this beforehand. I wish I would have leveraged this from the very start of my business. And I've been super transparent with you guys about my faith walk and what it's looked like, especially the last 2 years. I did a video all about this. So if you're curious, I'll leave a link underneath the description of this video so you can check it out. But essentially partnering with Jesus and being like, God, I need to stop putting so much pressure on myself, right? And thinking, oh, I have to perform a certain way. I need to, because I do, right? Like that is the reality. I need to come to the table with strategies. I need to create awesome content for our bi-weekly newsletter now. I'm putting out 2 emails, went to 2 emails this year, making sure that I'm creating great blog content, great podcast content, and then also coaching our clients through a pretty crazy economy, crazy times, right? The world is upside down. It feels like society has lost its mind in so many different ways. And so coming to a place where I'm like, wait. If I just try to strive in my own strength, if I just try to will this, if I just put this pressure on myself that I need to be superwoman and fix everyone's problems, I know intrinsically that that's beyond my natural ability. And so partnering with God and every single morning through worship, through prayer, through being in the Word, surrendering to Jesus and being like, listen, God, I know that you're going to work through me. I have to just come, to the table with full surrender, and you are going to, through the Holy Spirit, fill me up and activate in me a supernatural ability to serve people, to solve problems, to coach, to support, to encourage, to inspire. I know that my job is just to come to you, to surrender, and you will do the rest. Because if I just try to do it in my own strength, I'm going to burn out. I'm going to keep being in this content rut cycle where I don't know how to, actually connect with people, despite having all these worldly tools that are helpful and that we're going to talk about. But really, this has been such a level up game changer for me that I had to tell you about. And it actually started last year. One of my wellness coaches was just out of the blue was telling us how his Instagram reels were, exploding, and a lot of people were asking him like, what was his content strategy? And he straight up was like, I just asked Jesus. I was praying one morning and I was like, God, like, what should I post about? And I heard the Holy Spirit say, use your client-patient relationship, like what you are seeing your patients in practice struggle with, use that and talk about that on your reels. And that's all I've done. And I'm like, what an amazing strategy. Like, why did no one tell me this is how I should be creating content? And so for all of you who share, Christian faith, and even if you don't, right? Like, even if you don't, thinking about how do you go beyond yourself? Like, there is something so important when you can surrender to Jesus, when you can surrender to God, when you can try it out. Like, try it out. It's not going to hurt. Like, pray. Maybe you haven't prayed for a long time. Maybe like your faith has not necessarily been like a center part of your business or your life. Try it out. It is a game-changing strategy. I'll tell you guys, I will show up with ideas that I know I didn't come up with. I will show up with strategy that I know I did not just in my mind conjure on my own. If is that the right word? I don't know. Sorry. Excuse me, guys. Like, Puerto Rican here. Like, if I got that wrong, I'm sorry. But that's how I feel. And so like partnering with Jesus, feeding your soul, coming to the table full, such a game changer. Now let's talk about other ways that you could do that too, because despite knowing this is the number one way, this is how you unlock like next level efficiency, there's other ways too. And I think that God's provided us this like myriad of tools as well that he wants us to leverage. And so the second one is to fuel your mind. We've talked about this ad nauseum, you guys, but it's so true. Like reading every day, listening to podcasts, watching videos, and don't tell me that you don't have time. Don't tell me that you don't have time, but you're out here in these streets, binge watching Netflix and going through a whole season in a weekend. No judgment. I've done that many times, but don't make the excuse that you don't have time, because we all have the same 24 hours. Maybe you're in a tough season. Maybe you have little ones at home. Maybe you're like working multiple jobs. Maybe you're doing a side hustle and a full-time job. I don't know what your situation is, but there's always a way. So whether it's like listening to audiobooks on your way to work, or you're just like, as you're doing your workout, or going on a 10-minute walk and just tuning into a good podcast, or just while you're having breakfast. This is something I do all the time, by the way, guys. Like I have to figure out where to fit all this in my day. So I will just read a couple pages of a book while I'm just having my breakfast. And so it's not going to be perfect all the time, but just being intentional and putting the effort to actually fill yourself up with ideas. This is, by the way, why millionaires and billionaires make it a non-negotiable habit, most of them do, of reading for hours every single day. And the reason for that is there's a clear ROI. There's a clear ROI. When you educate yourself, when you actually take time to read, when you take time to learn, they know that they might not get, $1 million idea from every book that they read, but maybe they'll get one out of every 10 or 15 or 20 books. And that one idea will be worth everything that they have read before. It's absolutely crazy. So put yourself in position to be inspired on purpose. And the final one, and this is next level, this is the thing, if like you are in the hustle or you want a breakthrough right now, or you're from the breakthrough into the profit stage, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out our success path. We'll link it below so you understand like what are the 6 stages of successful online businesses. But this is what the pros do. The pros pay for inspiration. And so every single year, you'll see a lot of, well, maybe you won't because it's not on social media. It's kind of behind the scenes. But I guarantee you, all the big players in the online space, they're joining masterminds, they're joining coaching groups, they have one-on-one coaches, more than one, by the way, for different areas in their business. Maybe they have a funnels coach and they have a wellness coach and they have an overall business coach. And so paying for inspiration is so key. And this does not mean that you have to go out, right, if you're just getting started and spend a ridiculous amount of money. But think about what memberships can you join, right? What Patreons can you join? How could you get into a Facebook group? How could you actually do a paid newsletter? What can you do, even like if it's $10 a month, $20 a month, $100 a month, $1,500 a month? How can you get in the room with people who are going to inspire you, who are going to build you up, who are going to support and encourage you? This is a game changer, and most people are not willing to actually pay for inspiration, and they stay stuck in the same game. It's the difference between pros and the people who just stay stuck. That's just their reality. Every single player in this game, in the online space, every single one that you know of that is killing it, doing well, they're paying for inspiration. They're in those groups. And for me, this has been a non-negotiable. Like Chris and I have multiple business coaches. We're strategically in mastermind groups. We're in coaching groups. And I'm in groups at every level, you guys. Right now, I am in a $20 paid newsletter that I absolutely love. And I'm also, in a $1,500 a month mastermind, and then I'm in like a $30,000 coaching group. So it's one of those things where, of course, I didn't start there, but trust me when I tell you, we are actively and always investing in education, inspiration, encouragement, and support, because that's what takes you from really kind of just surviving into that next level of efficiency, that next level of financial breakthrough. So those are the three main things for this first strategy. The second one is to get into nature. Oh my goodness, you guys, I believe with all my heart that God has wired us for outside exposure. We're not designed, especially in the online space where we're all working from home, we're not designed to be in four walls all day, every day. And I'm preaching to myself in this one because I really try to get out in nature as much as I can, but I think I can do a much better job at this. I was actually telling you guys on the podcast that I'm totally into organic gardening. I love gardening. It's like one of my favorite things. I'm in that era of like, I'm turning into like almost an old lady. I know that's now it's like super trendy to do that, but I'm loving this era. And so I'll wake up, I'll pray, and then I'll go straight to the garden, just be outside. And there's so much research around how much your nervous system will auto-regulate when you are outside, how much it'll lower your cortisol levels. And honestly, when we're creating content and we're in our head all the time, we're not like in our body, outside, sunshine, clouds, sky, grass, we're so stressed in our day-to-day life that of course we're going to get stuck when it comes to business, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to, sharing our message. And so if you can intentionally, and this doesn't have to be every day, but if you can intentionally once a week, get out and play with your kiddos, like go to the pool, go to the beach, go to the lake, go on a hike, just go on a walk. If you could just go on a walk every morning, it's such a game changer. If you could just take lunch outside. I used to do this when I was working corporate. I would always like take my lunch outside if I could and just hang out and look at the sky and just be at peace. Lowering that stress level will just naturally build up all of these ideas and help you really start leveraging content and kind of get your mojo back. I think that that's so important and something that we overlook a ton. In fact, I was just reading the stat that reels that are created outside, so you might even want to create content outside. I don't know, maybe that's the next thing. But the reels that are created outside actually get a much higher engagement rate right now on Instagram, which that's kind of crazy and cool. But it also tells you the state of society. Like we are all generally overstressed, and even just seeing nature on a screen kind of lowers our stress level and makes the content even more engaging, which I think is so interesting. The third one is to keep a running list of ideas. And I know this one sounds like super basic, guys. All of these are basic, but they're so important and they're not things that we actually do. And so before you're like, okay, Kim, this is so basic. It's like, but are you actually doing it? If you're not doing it, then is it really basic or are you just not actually leveraging it? Okay. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Keep a running list of ideas. This for me is just a non-negotiable. And back in my social media marketing days, I learned that there was no way I would just be able to just sit down and produce a great caption or produce a great post or write a great newsletter. I needed to hack my inspiration in a way. And so doing that with a list is so important. So now whenever I'm engaging with life or the team, or someone asks me a question, or I see a YouTube comment, I will actually write that down, just transfer it into my Evernote. And I also have essentially a Slack channel where our team chats, and I have a private Slack thread where I put all of my podcast ideas, all the ideas for this YouTube channel. And so whenever something comes up, boom, I put it there. Sometimes, and actually very frequently, I will record a voice note for myself, because just text, I will forget like the energy and like the idea behind it and what angle I wanted to use. So I'll just record a quick like 30-second voice note. Boom. It's in, it's on my phone. It's on the computer. It's in an app, and I don't have to worry about it. It's just so stressful to have to come to a blank screen and come up with something great. That's just not how we're wired, especially if you're switching between tasks. Maybe you have like little ones in the background playing and it's distracting, or you're trying to handle, multiple projects at once. Like for me, I might go from coaching on Voxer to, teaching a live workshop to creating a YouTube video to writing an email newsletter. And by the end of the day, I'm like, I don't got nothing left, right? I don't have anything left. So having that list of ideas is so powerful, and you can use AI for this. You can get totally inspired, use your favorite AI tool. Chris actually just put up a video for you guys on how to use Gemini, Google's new AI, to actually come up with great content ideas. It's one of our favorite tools to do research on. You can also do a Google search, just a normal Google search, like type in a couple keywords and then let the suggested search dictate your content ideas. So maybe you're typing in like organic gardening in, and then the suggestion is like Texas or Zone 7B or, the North Hemisphere. And so you get an idea for what people are searching for, and that could be a really good source of content ideas. We have a ton of episodes on this particular topic, so I will link the team, Belle on our team will link that below for you guys. And then also we love using a tool called Uber Suggest. It's one of my favorite tools. It's by Neil Patel for search engine optimization. And what I love about Uber Suggest is that it actually takes it to the next level. So you can type in a couple keywords that are related to your topic or your industry, and it'll come up with an entire list of content ideas. It'll even show you articles that people have already written so that you can get inspiration for what's already working in your individual niche. And that is another amazing content hack. Now, we talk about how to organize your content ideas and how to give people answers and not information, which is I'm going to do an entire episode just about that for you guys, because that's the thing now. Like, it's not about more information, right? AI has come into the scene and it's kind of downgraded information, or at least the value that some people have around it. We're about giving people answers. That's like the next level play. But if you haven't checked out Content to Customers, that workshop, you can go to contenttocustomers.co. That's contenttocustomers.co. We talk all about your content map in that first session. It's essentially, how do you actually make sure that your content is not more information, that it actually stands out, that it's not just, more of the same thing, and organize it in a way that takes you like 20 minutes tops and does not allow you to just go astray. That keeps you focused and locked in on the things that people actually want to hear about in your individual industry. That's so important, and we'll probably do another episode around this topic too. Okay, the next one is to give yourself a content consumption budget. So this one kind of goes hand in hand with that first one of feeding your soul. And I used to think that you could never, I'm used to overconsumption. That's what most Americans do. That's what most of us do, right? If you look at your phone and you see how much time you spend on apps and how much time you scroll on the news feed, it's crazy. It's kind of scary. But I swung the pendulum way too far the other end in underconsumption. And this one is a little bit easier for me. I recently told you guys in the podcast, I did my genetic labs, and one of the mutations that I have is called slow COMT. What that means is I recycle dopamine really well. I don't need a lot of input and just stimuli. And that's why scrolling social media is kind of stressful for me. I do it, but it's kind of stressful. But I tended to then underconsume. And so I wasn't really inspired or excited or looking at what was new. I think all of us, as we create content, we need that spark of ooh, this is shiny. Let me explore it for a little bit, but not go the other end of the spectrum and just go down a rabbit hole and then just stay in content consumption to the point where you're never looking up for air and you're thinking about yourself as a consumer rather than a producer. And you're a producer as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as someone who's creating content to market their business. You are a producer, not a consumer. And so know where you sit on what side of the spectrum and be very self-aware. Do you need to switch things a little bit in one direction or the other? And I think that's where having like a great content consumption budget that you can't exceed, right? Like you can't go over that, but you also have to meet is super important. For those of you who underconsume, like spending a good 20 minutes at least every week actually exploring, like maybe you have a couple websites where there's some cool news or things in your industry that you want to be aware of, that can inspire your creativity like crazy. For example, for me, I know that like I love to check out sites like Business Insider and Forbes and, you know, some of more of like the businessy, techie places. But I know I can't go down the rabbit hole for more than 20 minutes. If I do that, then I'm going to get distracted and I'm not going to get the things done in my business that I need to get done. But I also know that if I'm not aware at all and I'm not reading books or actually looking at, you know, what's trending and what's happening in the world of online business, I'm just not going to feel totally inspired. And I'm also going to kind of, you know, feel that I'm not connecting with people. And so I think this is such an important thing. A great example of this is a couple weeks ago, I sent you guys an email on the State of the Creator Economy report by ConvertKit. And some of the trends that came up were insane. They were so interesting. That sparked an entire essentially content series for me. And it made it so much more exciting to be like, oh, there's data behind this. I'm not crazy. I'm not just observing this. Now I can take that to our clients. I can take that to you guys and be like, boom, here's proof. Let's figure out your strategy as you shift into, you know, maybe doing more long form content. Okay. The next one is to just do it. In the words of Nike, just do it. Sometimes, and I say this all the time to our TBL members, clarity does not strike, it unfolds. It's a process. I love Marie Forleo's quote. She says, you know, clarity does not come from engagement. It does not come from thought. And that engagement, that like just doing, that just like getting your hands dirty and just being like, it's not going to be perfect. I don't have the best ideas right now. I'm just not, you know, feeling the content thing, but I can actually engage. I can post, I can record, I could hit that button and publish. Makes all the difference. Sometimes you just need to get back in the game, see what resonates, what doesn't, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, and make it happen. Oftentimes, I think we get so stuck in our head that we allow like either perfectionism or fear or just plain overwhelm to paralyze us instead of catapulting us. I think when you make the transition to being a newbie creator to a seasoned creator, you learn how to leverage your emotions and use them to propel you further. Rather than allowing them to halt your entire progression, you use them as empowerment, as leverage, as like that fuel to catapult your creativity to the next level. And this isn't necessarily always something that you have to do consciously, but at first you do. While you train your mind to actually go there, you can absolutely start, you know, saying, listen, I know I'm scared, I know I'm nervous, but I'm just going to try 5 minutes of writing this outline, or I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to come up with a great hook for my next video, and then see what happens from there. The more you engage with something, the more likely you are to succeed at it and for it to become something you enjoy and something that, you know, brings out the best in you instead of being a task or a chore that you're absolutely dreading. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comment section below what's one strategy that you took away from this video that you're going to be implementing this week. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And of course, it always inspires the next episode. All right, familia, I hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. Un beso. Bye for now. And hey, if you're wondering how you can work with us to take your content marketing or your business to the next level, here are 3 ways that you can get started. Number 1, make sure to download our Success Path. It's completely free and it'll give you the 6 stages of online business success. From validating your business all the way through scale, we're going to give you a detailed overview of what particular strategies you need to be deploying, but also, just as importantly, what areas you should leave for the next stage, you should not be worrying about. Now, it's not a comprehensive list, but it definitely is going to get you started on the right track. Number 2, come over to Content Calendar System 2.0 and check it out. Not only is it our most popular product, it's going to give you everything that you need to know about content creation that's efficient and will save you a ridiculous amount of time from the lens of profitability, because we don't want to just create content for the sake of creating content. We want to do it for a purpose and we want to get results. Number 3, come join us inside the Business Lounge. It's our premier signature program where I teach my very best work around marketing in general. From developing your business idea to crafting amazing emails and blogs, podcasts and video, social media content, as well as designing funnels and creating webinars and selling via Facebook ads. All of that training is jam-packed inside the Business Lounge. Not just that, but you're also going to get monthly coaching calls with me and my co-pilot, Chris, where you get to ask us questions, we review your sales strategies and your sales funnels, and we give you feedback in real time. You're also going to have access to our private forum where you can connect with thousands of other online entrepreneurs who are just where you're at right now. And you're going to be able to feel that sense of community and get feedback from those people in real time as well. All the information will be linked in the description box below, and I will see you in the next episode. Un beso. Bye for now.